fresh glued up cutting board through the planer. I think you can see right now it's all uneven. I didn't do a very good job with the clamping and all that, so I'm gonna run it through, get it flat and surfaced up, and take you guys to the process. Let's go. It's looking nice and flat, smooth. So now I gotta flip it over. On the bottom side a few times. Get it perfectly flat. Let's do it. Alright guys, this is all done and planed up. As you can see, it's looking absolutely beautiful. So what the pointer does is just kind of gets everything even. If you look down the end, you can see it's perfectly flat now. Nothing raised up. What that does is make it so much easier for when you go to start sanding. Because if you don't have a planer to run it through, then you're going to be sitting there for a long time sanding it with some 60 or some 80 grit or a belt sander, whatever you got, and that's just a pain in the butt. So let's take it over to the miter saw and let's get it trimmed up and go from there. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to just take off just a little bit just to flush up those ends, alright? It helps if your saw is plugged in. Alright, she's all plugged in. Let's go. Into the scrap bin because you can use these later to make wood rings. I find it best to go slow when you're cutting it, otherwise you get a lot of tear out and you don't like that. You don't want that. So now we're gonna do a little bit of sanding and kind of chamfer up the edges. I'm not gonna hit it with the router because I'm only gonna it doesn't take very long to do it with the sander, so I'm just gonna do that. So at this point, you don't really need to go over it with 60 grit because the planer gets it down pretty smooth. So I'm just gonna hit it with my rotary palm sander and just gonna hit it at 120, and then we're gonna finish it off with some 220, and then we're good to go. Okay, so to get the mitered edge, all I'm going to do is run the sander on an angle like this, basically a 45, along the edge of the board. And I'm just going to give it a little 1/8 inch chamfer, nothing much, so it's easy to accomplish with the sander. So if you don't have a router, this is one way you can do it. Takes a little longer, but it comes out just as good. So, as you can see, you just put a slight chamfer on the edge. And all that does is just prevent there to be any chipping later on down the road. So now I'm going to flip it over, do the same thing on the bottom side, and then go ahead and hit all the corners, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so as you can see, I got my chamfered edge sanded all the way around the outside. Now we're going to hit it with some 220. Got 220 Gonna hit it real lightly with the 220. So then I just take some of these cabinet door bumpers. They're stick-on, and I use these as feet because it's such a small little board, and these things are cheap. They're, for a pack of 20, it's like $4.50 at your local hardware store. And believe me, once those things go on, you ain't moving them. Put the rest on. And these things are self-adhesive, so I don't know if I forgot to mention that. But pull them out of the package, stick them right on, and you got yourself some easy, cheap, quick little feet. Not having to put any screws into here. You're just dropping them on there, pushing them in. You want to make sure all the dust is off of these boards too before you do it, otherwise you're not going to get a good stick. Like have them fall off. Alright, they're all on. Looking good. Alright, now it's time to condition her up, and then that'll be it, guys. What I've made seems to be pretty good, and you can find this at pretty much any hardware store. So I'm going to apply this and show you guys how much the grain pops, and then we'll be done. Well, I wipe it on there kind of heavy, and then I just wipe off the excess. Give it a chance to soak in a little bit. Once it sits for a little while, the longer it sits, it's going to soak in some more, but it actually soaks it up pretty quick, so you can wipe it on, get all the excess, and good to go. Cutting board. I am a carpenter, but I'm not a finished carpenter. I actually do concrete formwork for a living, but this is just a little hobby of mine that I decided to take on and, you know, learn new things and take you guys along my journey. So I'll have more projects coming out other than just cutting boards. You know, this is just something I decided to do because of the holiday, make a good gift. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, follow me along my journey, and hope you guys have a blessed Merry Christmas.